I mean, this just didn't look like the Maryland team. If for nothing else, Sean, they turned the ball over more times than they made baskets.
23 turnovers for the Terrapins, and this is a team that usually does a pretty good job, essentially doubling their turnovers over a normal game where they average around 12 per outing. It didn't help that Melo Trimble went out of the ball game for extended periods of time, but you have to credit West Virginia. They jumped the passing angles, and they forced other players, most notably Des Wells, to handle the ball in positions in which they were not comfortable, and the Mountaineers took advantage of that. You combine the turnovers to the tune of 23 with 14 offensive rebounds by the Mountaineers. That's a lot of extra possessions. Maryland wasn't able to overcome that. As we're watching the ball game, I'm just sitting here thinking, how are they still within 10 with all the extra possessions that they were providing to West Virginia?
That defense for West Virginia was just swarming, and the field goal percentage was okay. Maryland shot 48%. They just got the ball off so rarely. Only 16 field goal attempts less is what Maryland had compared to West Virginia. And so the first season ever in the Big Ten comes to a close for the Terps. In the regular season, it was great. 26 wins is an all-time school record. They won 11 more games this year than last year. That's second best amongst major teams. They made it to the dance for the first time in Mark Turgeon's tenure, and Des and Melo were great this year. The coach was great. He earned that Big Ten Coach of the Year. How will you look back on this first year for Maryland in the league?
Very successful first year in the league for the Maryland Terrapins, for the simple fact that, Mike, no one really knew what this team was going to bring. A lot of roster turnover in the offseason. You're handing the ball to a freshman, albeit a highly touted one in the form of Melo Trimble, and they just were wonderful throughout the course of the year. Defensively, they were outstanding. Tonight, notwithstanding, they took very good care of the basketball. They made their free throws. The future is very bright in College Park, regardless of what Melo Trimble decides to do, whether he comes back or not. If he comes back, they're really going to be loaded because other players, most notably a guy like Jared Nickens, got some really good experience in the NCAA tournament.
A rewarding season for Maryland fans, indeed, making the tournament, impressing in Big Ten play, and winning close games. They were 12-1 this season in games decided by 6 points or less.